time now. Okay. So I want to find the ratio of QV. This is my Q, that's the V. VW, this is V, that's the W. So I need to find the ratio of those two. Okay? It's QV over VW. Okay? Now, if you look at this whole shape with the lines that are parallel, okay, there are many triangles, there are more than 2 triangles that I can use the proportion theorem. Okay? If you look at it this way, I've got triangle TSR. I can use the proportion theorem. Okay? But for our question, it is, we need to find the ratio of QV over, it's QV over VW. Which means somehow we need to find the length of QV and the length of what? Of VW. Do you see that? Huh? So if I want to find the length of QV, okay, if I want to find the length of QV, already, what do I know? I know that PA, I know the length of PA.
So we had a problem. The vending machine, they say that.
I know the length of PA is 5 over 2y. That's 5 over 2y. I know the length of AS is also 5 over 2y. Okay? Are you following that? Before I carry on, are you following what I just wrote?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Then, if I want to find the ratio of QV over VW, I need to identify probably a triangle that I can use the proportion theory. For me, the triangle that I'm seeing, okay, before I tell you which triangle do you think I should use the proportion theorem to find the ratio of QV over VW? Which triangle, yes? QW what? QWP, no. Remember, the triangle that you are supposed to use the proportion theorem must have 2 lines that are parallel. It must have 2 lines that are parallel.
Yes, sir.
If you say QWP, so which 2 lines are you talking about?
ST and QW parallel.
ST and what?
QW parallel.
Yeah, but how is that going to help you to find QV over VW?
What about Q?
No.
Oh. What about QWA?
Huh?
What about
QWA. Thank you. It will be QWA. Okay? So you identify the triangle first. If you don't see the triangle, you won't be able to do it. Okay? So my next solution here for that is for QV over VW. I'll do it on the next page. It's gonna be in triangle AQW. Okay? So I'll say here in triangle AQW. That's 2.1.4 is 2.1.4. Right? In that triangle, I'm going to use or I'm going to apply the proportion theory. So, I'm going to say, in that triangle, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to say QV over VW is going to be equal to QS over SA. Okay? Right? So it will be QV over VW. QV over VW is going to be equal to QS over SA. So that's QS over SA. Then I must rewrite my reason. It's lie parallel to one side of triangle. Okay. Then my QV over VW is going to be equal to, I know that my QS in terms of Y is equal to 2Y. Okay? And my SA in terms of Y is 5 over 2Y. So I'll have 2Y over 5 over 2Y. Fortunately, this Y and that Y are going to cancel out. Because eventually your answer must be a real number. Okay? Eventually your answer must be a real number. So this will be equal to 2 divided by 5 over 2. The denominator there is a 1. Then you get 2 over 1 times 2 over 5. So you get 4 over 5. Make sure you understand that first you have to identify the triangle. And that triangle must have two lines that are parallel. One of them must cut the two sides of the triangle. The other one must be one of the sides of the triangle. Okay? Any question? Any question? Okay, let's move on to the next one. So I'm done with that, I'm done with that. Let's move on to the next question. We've got that one. It's the same diagram, by the way, just that I took screenshots of the diagram because you need the diagram to do the question. So all the information that we have so far with regard to this diagram here, I can add it on the diagram. Okay? So let's carry on. Now 2.2 says if SR is equal to 36 centimeters, determine the length of AW. SR, that is from here to there, it's equal to 36 centimeters. Okay? We now need to find the length of AW. Okay? It looks complicated, but it's not. Right? I need to remind everyone that your midpoint theorem that you did in grade 10, you need that now. Some of these questions you have to apply the midpoint theorem together with your proportion theorem. So here I'm going to use the midpoint to do 2.2.1 because point W is the midpoint of PR. Therefore, PW is equal to WR and PA is equal to AS. Also, the length of AW is half of SR from the midpoint theorem. So, to find that length AW is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. I'll just say A, and before I do that, let me write the name of the question. It's 2.2.1 or 2.2.1. So I'll say AW is going to be equal to half of SR. And this is from the midpoint theorem. Okay? So this will be half times 36, which gives you 18 centimeters. Okay? Done. Then 2.2.2, the length of VR. That is VR. I need the length of that. Now, to get that length, remember, I got WR as 7x, and I got TW as 2x. My PT was 5x from the first diagram. Okay? Also, if I want to find VR, okay, I may need to know what is the length of SV. Okay, I may need, because I want to try and use the proportion theorem to get the actual length of VR, which means I need that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to determine the ratio of RV over VS first. Okay, using this 2x and that 7x. Following what I'm saying? Huh? Right? Which triangle am I going to use? I'm going to try and use triangle SRT. I'm going to use the proportion theorem there. But I can introduce a new variable. Okay? If this is 2x, I can call this one maybe 2k. I'm going to introduce k now. Right? I have used x for this side, that is PR. I've used y for PQ. Now, because I've got a new triangle, I can introduce another constant, which is not x and which is not y. So, based on this ratio, that is that 2x and that 7x, this VR, I can call it 7k. And that SV, I can call it 2k. It is based on the coefficient of the x, the coefficient of the x. But the constant is now different because it's another side of that triangle. And this concept of the constant is the key to getting the answers for these types of problems. Okay? Make sure you know. Alright. So I'm gonna say, okay, let me try to fit it there. So 2.2, it will be in triangle. In fact, let me do it on the next page so that it will be clear. So I'll say in triangle, the triangle that I identified will be SRT. Why? Because there are two lines that are parallel. One of them is the side of the triangle. So I can use the proportion theorem. So SRT, that's SRT, okay? I need to find the ratio of SV over VR or vice versa. Okay, that's what I want to do. Fortunately, you see here, I want to find the length of, remember, it's the length of VR that I want to get. It's the length of VR. Do I know the length of SV? I don't know. Okay, so let's determine that ratio. So, if I go to the next page, I can write that as RV over WT. Okay, let me start with this side. I can say SV over VR. So that's SV over VR will be equal to, if I say SV over VR, then that will be TW over WR. So that will be TW over WR. Okay? Why did I write that? Because of the proportion theorem, that's line parallel to one side of triangle. Okay? Then, if you look at it carefully, okay? If you look at it carefully, I can now determine the ratio of that length. Okay? The ratio of this whole length here. Now, do you agree with me that the length of SR? Please come and see Mrs. Hogan. Thank you. The length of SR is 36. Do you remember that? It's what? 36. So we know the length, right? So all I have to do here is substitute the ratio there. It will be 2x over 7x. So that will be 2x over 7x. That's equal to SV over VR. And that will give me, let me write it on the side here, that will give me 2 over what? 7. Okay? So if I want to calculate the length of VR, I can do that. Okay? I can calculate using SR as well. Remember, but SR is equal to 36 centimeters. Okay? So it means that I can use this ratio 2/7. Remember what I told you about ratio on Monday? The denominator will be 2 plus 7, which is the what? The 9. So I can say VR is going to be equal to 7/9 times 36. And that will give you 28. Do you remember the concept that I spoke about on Monday? Ratio fractions. Coming. Okay. So that would be centimeters. If you grasp the concept that I'm telling you now, you don't need to go for any tuition. Give me that man.
No. Oh, yes.
Give me that man. Yeah, give me that money because I will give you all the information you need. Give me that money. Yeah, you're supposed to come with VR. Give me that money. Wait. Yeah, I said, but SR is about 36 centimeters. Therefore, any question? Huh? You don't have a question? Then let me see. Let me carry on with the next one. It was a long question. 2.1 to 2.3. Everything that I said today, you take any metric class examination paper, you understood it, you should be able to answer those questions. You stop playing the phone. Everything that I said. Ratio of areas. Ratio of areas. Okay? Ratio of areas. Alright, this question, everything that I said at the beginning, you need that here.
Oh, this one.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look at this question, it says triangle PSR, that is PSR. That's the triangle. Divided by triangle W, which is here, B, that's there, and R. What do you notice? They share a common vertex, therefore they share a common angle. And what is that angle? Angle R. Therefore, you can use which formula? For both triangles to calculate the area? You use the area rule. You have to use the area rule. Okay? You have to use the area rule. You can't use that base times that. So, here, it's so simple. Area of triangle PSR divided by the area of triangle WBR is equal to, okay, for PSR it's going to be equal to a half times it's PSR, okay, this is the common angle here, right? It's a common angle. Now, when you are doing it, make sure you are very careful of the constant. Remember, for PR, I used X as my constant. For this side, PQ, I used Y as my constant. And for SR, I used what? X as the constant. So when you are writing it down, you must make sure that the constants cancel out when you are writing your formula. So you need to be very careful there. So if this is my common angle here, it means for PSR, I'm going to say PR times SR. Okay? So it will be half times PR times SR. Sine of what? Of, okay, this R here, I can call it SRP. Or if I want to label it, I can say R1 or what? R2. You're allowed to do that, by the way. You're allowed to name an angle like this. Since there are two of them here, I need to be very specific. Which one am I dealing with? It's going to be what? R1, based on my diagram. So I'll put R1 there. Are you following? Remember, when you are using the area rule, this is our angle here. Which two sides in triangle PSR form this angle? It's PR and S what? And SR. Those are the angles those are the sides you put in the area rule formula. The sides that form the given angle are the ones you put in the area rule formula. That's what I did. All over. For WVR, we still have the same angle. It's a common angle. But PR is in terms of Y. Sorry, it's in terms of X, based on my diagram, this one here. Remember, these questions are connected based on this. Do you see that PR is in terms of what? Of X. Do you see that? And SR is in terms of what? Of K. That's very important. So, my length of PR, I'm going to write it down later. Let me write the formula first. So this will be a half times, it will be WR times VR, sine of R1. Now check this. The half and half cancel. You'll be smiling once you get there. And your heartbeat won't increase. Because you understood what to do. And then sine R1 and sine R1 will cancel out. Okay? And then you are left with PR. Your PR, if you go to the diagram, this one here, PR is equal to 5x plus 2x plus 7x gives you what? 14x. So that will be 14x times my SR. My S, it's SR. It's 2k plus 7k, that's 9k. No, don't rush to do that. Okay? Then WR, it's in terms of x. I know that it's equal to 7x. So I'll have 7x here. And my VR, I know that it's equal to what? 7x. Am I right? Sorry, 7k rather. So that will be 7k. Now, check this out. The x and the x cancel, the k and the k cancel. In the end, your answer must be a real number. 7 into 14, that's a 2. So my final answer will be 18 over 7. That's the final answer. Okay? So in your match control test, there are questions like this. I only put 2 questions. Okay? So what I did in the previous lesson and what I did now up to this point, I have equipped you for the match control test. For this homework. Yes. The question stops in. I have covered all the key concepts. There is only one concept that I probably need to share with you maybe some other time. But that one is for a level 4 question. But with all this information, you should be equipped. Sorry, we stop talking. My microphone is active. It will pick up even slight voices. Okay. It is active. Okay. So I'm going to deactivate it now.